Meta's avatars are terrible, and well, Zuck knows this.
And I'm sorry.
But this could all be about to change with something called codec avatars. Codec meaning scanning and representing that data. In this case, your avatars. And this will take those cartoonish avatars from this to something like this. But it goes even deeper than ultra-realistic avatars, and this was all revealed from snippets of code from the new v62 software update. But that's not the only thing. From brand new codec hand models, mapped from your own hands, a new vehicle mode, to a few mind-blowing solutions to VR locomotion. Strap in because this is your week's worth of Quest news. Over the years, we have seen different variations of avatars. It's clear that the end goal of Meta, as explained a few years ago, is to give the user choice, whether that's an ultra-realistic avatar, a robot, or whatever you want. VR Chat is really the best example of an avatar system that has complete freedom, but it's clear that this is a difficult challenge for Meta. But starting with ultra-realistic avatars, Meta has been working on something called codec avatars. As of today, a simple scan from your phone can create avatars as realistic as this one. But the issue was a matter of processing power. The Quest at the time was just not that powerful to run these codec avatars at an acceptable level. But today in 2024, this isn't the case, with more powerful hardware and a significantly more efficient method of displaying these avatars at a higher frame rate. These were even able to run on the Quest 2. Also to note, these avatars don't require face and eye tracking and instead use audio in combination with neural nets to estimate your facial positions. Now, a few years ago, Boz stated that codec avatars were a few years away, and well, we are here, years down the line. And thanks to Luna within the v62 software update is a snippet of code that talks about enabling these codec avatars. And this could mean that Meta is ready to ship these out at any time. But this isn't the only impressive thing used by the codec compression system. Soon your hands could even make their way into VR with realistic looking hand models that react to light and is mapped from a simple picture of your own hand. This could make things like occlusion that much more realistic with the overlay of these digital hands over your real hands. But I have an issue with all this, and I think most of you would agree. I don't want realistic avatars. I want my own avatar. Take Ready Player One or VR Chat. Most of you are characters that you have designed or that represent what you want to be seen as. And I understand from a business perspective, but most of us play games, and so these developments should be aimed at us. I guess it is clear that the end goal would be a system much like VR Chat in terms of flexibility, but I guess time will tell. But moving on to the v62 update. Over the next few weeks you'll receive this update, and it comes with a few new additions. Most notably and coincidentally in time with the Vision Pro, spatial video playback. If you have an iPhone with stereoscopic video capability, you'll be able to upload them to your Quest, which will give you that three-dimensional effect to your videos. And I highly expect Meta to give a hard push on Apple Vision Pro-like features to help divert traffic away from Apple and into Meta's pocket, which makes sense from a business perspective. The Meta browser now supports gamepads such as PS5 DualSense and Xbox controllers to essentially enable cloud gaming from your browser, which would be handy. If you didn't try before, you were actually able to connect your controller to the Quest, but the buttons didn't translate properly. They have also brought back Facebook live streaming and YouTube live streaming with chat, which is handy for content creators. But lastly, v62 brings quick, simple hand gestures which allow you to quickly access certain functionalities with one simple gesture. And this can be enabled by going to settings, movement tracking, and then quick action. Now, I'm not going to say this is an insane or mind-blowing update because it's not, but what lies in the code of some of these updates could be. Augments are one of them, and unfortunately yet again, they have not arrived even though they presented themselves inside the v62 PTC code. Now, whether this is just a flip of a button for Meta, or there are issues with the release of augments, time will tell, but they are due early this year, so I still expect them anytime. Another two things that were hidden within the code are a new button interface and references to a new Meta headset. The wrist button looks something like this, and could be used to access certain menus within games and experiences. This makes perfect sense when it comes to hand tracking, and I know they have just enabled quick gestures to access the menu, but every time I use hand tracking, I forget what gestures do what, and so a simple button on your wrist makes perfect sense. What also makes sense to me is customizable wrists. Clocks, menus, or even screens would be a perfect addition to your wrists and will work perfectly inside VR and AR. And I'm not sure why Meta hasn't taken this approach yet. But the last thing hidden within the code is a reference to a new Quest. and I assume this is because they are undergoing testing within Meta. And it's very likely this is a reference to the Quest Lite, which is likely to be launched later this year, and will feature similar hardware to the Quest 3, but without the pancake lenses or colour pass-through, and is rumoured to be released at a price of $199. Most of this information is from Leaker Luna from X, so if you'd like to check her out, link will be in the description. Another feature we can expect soon is vehicle mode. If you haven't already tried, this is what happens most of the time when using a Quest in a plane or a car, and the reason why the Vision Pro doesn't do this is the difference in tracking method. With any sort of acceleration, your Quest perceives this as movement, then your environment moves away from you. But Boz stated on X they are working on a solution. But moving on to the future. Recently a video was uploaded of someone using a Quest to essentially hoover, and this translated into a game, which you can collect coins or other things. This really does show the future potential of mixed reality, and we really are in the early stages of what's possible. It seems that Apple Vision Pro is normalising wearing headsets in your daily life, so who knows how this could be integrated over the next few years. But now on to VR locomotion, and this is still one of the biggest issues in VR, and in my opinion the final problem in VR. And I'm going to show you two incredible solutions, one cheap and one expensive. Every now and then Disney showcases what it's been working on, whether that's animatronics or well this, the Disney holodeck.
I can walk on this omnidirectional floor in any direction I want. It will automatically do whatever it needs to have me stay on the floor. And what's amazing about this is multiple people can be on it and all walking independently. They can walk in virtual reality.
Now this is insane, and it will always keep the users centralized unless controlled externally, like this. Now I wish this was a product you could have in your home, and maybe one day it will be. Just imagine the sense of freedom you'd have, walking normally inside VR with no equipment. And this is the main issue with current locomotion methods, like the catwalk. They are a solution, but it's not a one-to-one representation. You have to relearn how to walk, but that's what company FreeAim aims to solve, with what looks like one of the most realistic walking devices I've seen. With a consumer locomotion device, and yes I say consumer because that is the target audience, cheaper than that of the catwalk and takes up next to no space, essentially as much as a pair of shoes. If they live up to the video, this could be the solution to natural walking inside VR, and I hope this is the case, because in my eyes, once locomotion is solved in VR, everything will be perfect in terms of representing movement. The FreeAim shoes have been in development for over 2 years and really could do with the support, because they are the first real solution I've seen anywhere. Everything I've talked about in this video will be in the description, from the FreeAim shoes to more information about the MetaQuest Lite. I hope you enjoyed today's video, like and subscribe if you did, and as always I'll catch you on the next one.